When tensions are high in corrections, we must stop and think a moment before we act. We must respect the job, and we must have respect for each other. This is very important. Now, what causes all these tensions that could make any one of us explode, go off, start yelling at a coworker, start yelling at a supervisor start yelling at a staff member? I'm not saying any of these things are right. No, they're not. But what causes them, and why do we need to think about things before we blow off? Well, number one, we're working in a very stressful environment in corrections. Right now, everybody's working many hours. I'm seeing posts every day on the correctional sites. Just finished a 16, just finished over 16, just did a double. Got to work my day off. That's stressful because you're away from your family. Maybe you had something planned with your family. Now you have to call your wife and say, hey, I've got to work my first day off. We've got to cancel that trip. I guess we'll do something together on that one day I have off. We have COVID running rampant for a while now in our prisons and jails. Officers getting COVID. You don't see a lot of it out in the media. It's kind of hush-hush, but we know they have it. I know that the jail that I work for has had many COVID cases in the jail and at the courthouse in the bailiff section. Why? Because I keep in touch with the active officers that I worked with before I retired in 2018. I know that. But everybody keeps it hush-hush unless they pass away and there's a service. That's something that worries a lot of people, being confined with the inmates and catching a disease, not just COVID, tuberculosis, the flu. You know, one guy gets a flu, or one female inmate gets a flu, one officer gets a flu, it starts spreading through that certain dorm or pod. You know, this is all stressful situations. Inmate attacks are very stressful. We have to be always alert. You know, don't be the person that thinks it'll never happen to me, the inmates like me. You know, of course, if you think that way, you may not be stressed out, but you may be hurt bad also. We have to always be on our toes 24/7. So what I'm getting at with all these stressors and tensions around us in the jails and prisons, we need to stick together. We can't get mad at each other. Come on now, we know, and I know, that we're not going to like every single person we work with. But you know what? I don't have to like you to show courtesy, common courtesy to a fellow officer or a civilian staff member. You know, your medical, your dental, your programs people, your drug counselors, mental health counselors. You know, you don't have to like them either, but show professional courtesy to one another. It will make the job go a lot easier than being grumpy. Me and a couple of my buddies used to watch some of the people that we work with. And, you know, we're all three retired now, but we were at the end of our careers, and we were watching people saying, look at that grump. Everything makes that person grumpy. Well, try to change that attitude. Try to think of something positive. I know it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. You know, I've seen the jokes with the happy officer coming to work, and 2 minutes after stepping through the sally port and in their dorm or housing unit, their hair's all messed up, and they're like, oh my God, this is going to be a terrible day. I know. It's not like I'm sitting here talking to you and haven't worked the floor in a prison or a jail before. I know. So I'm going to tell you, just try to think of something positive. But here's the main thing. When you get tensions high, instead of jumping at or yelling at a fellow officer or fellow prison staff worker, try talking to them. And you might be surprised that after the two of you start talking, how the tensions can come down, and you finally realize, hey, we're all in the same boat. We're all going through the same thing. You're not the only one going through this crap. All of us are. So why not try to show respect for each other, discuss things, And hey, it's not going to be easy, but try to make it better with what you've got. And what do you have? You have each other. Back each other up. Let each other know. Even if you don't like that person, because guess what? You're there to do your job. You do your job. You go home. They go home, and you're not in their home life. They do what they want. You do what you want. You put the uniform on. You come back to work. You're a team. Okay? There's no I. No I in team. You're a team. Help each other. Talk to each other. Go to each other with problems. Don't jump on each other. Don't fight each other. Good God, don't get in a physical altercation, which we've seen happen in jails and prisons because of tensions that are running high. Don't do that. We're professionals. And then respect for the job. You know, I've never been a person to say, you don't like this job, then leave. I hate when I hear that. I don't like that. I'd rather say, listen, make this job work for you. Think of the things that you're getting out of this job that are positive. Okay, you may have a list of negatives this long right now with things the way they're going, but this positive list right here, I have a job. I have medical for my family. I have dental for my family. I'm putting food on the table for my family. And every year I put in is working towards a pension. Listen to this old fart. My wife and I both retired from corrections. We both have a pension. We both have medical and dental still till the day we die. You know, there are some benefits at the end of the rainbow. Try to think of the positive things that work for you in this job. And I'll end it here with, once again, my beginning statement. Show respect for the job and respect for each other. It is very important, and it helps us all survive this career or job, whatever you want to call it. Job, career. Just don't call it a stepping stone, please, because corrections is a professional business, in my opinion. It's not a stepping stone. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Gary York, True Prison Stories.